do a run and we just watch the knock just there. Yeah, those 4. And then I'll watch boost, you watch knock. Then if you see anything like anything more than a 1 or a 2 or 3, just sort of like holler. So I'm going to set the dyno first, so 3,500 RPM. Bring it back down to about 1,500 RPM. So set it at 45 kilometers an hour there. It's fine. So you want to be hovering over the start button, and then yep, set it going. Actually. Smoke from the turbo, but it's going to be a bit of newness, I think. So this has just been fitted on it, so okay, let's resume. Let's have a look at the login now. See if we've got any faults on the engine. Data bus, which is because we've got on the dyno the ESP. Yeah, that's fine. So go into the logs, get rid of the timestamps, otherwise they ruin the graphing. Go all the way down to the last run there. And we look at both of these bits. So you got 157 and like 70 on the timestamps, but you'll be able to see them anyway. So we want to look for, let's get rid of the RPM. So the throttle stayed wide open on both runs, so that's good. So there's no throttle closure. And then we've got, so your trims are good, they're like -7 there, -7 there. We can make the trims better, but for now we don't need to look at that. What we got here, so that's ignition timing. So we ran 2.5, it drops the ignition out there for some reason to 0. So we need to look at that. End of the run it's doing 5 degrees. So just there, that little bit, we don't want it to drop like that. So there's a reason it's doing that. So I have to have a look at the software and see why it's doing that. Then we've got a tiny bit of knock there. What's it doing? Done the same there. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of that blue one. Delete that. That's a 0.75, which is not even worth looking at. So we've got our lambda, 0.82 all the way across. Look, literally writes over itself. So lambda's perfect. That's the actual lambda, I think. Yeah, so actual lambda is literally unspecified. So get rid of that. And that'll give us a boost control. So we've got charge air specified. So our actual boost is 1.9 bar, 1.92 bar. So it's exactly what we want. So we're just saturating the map sensor there. So you see where that straight line is? That's the map sensor flat out. So we've probably got a little lump there that we can't see. So we'll take some boost out there to drop it below where we want it. So, but apart from that, well, looks bang on. So it's a Volkswagen T5 camper van. See, this is the 2.55 cylinder PD engine is what they put in them, and these have inherent problems with the camshafts wearing out. So this particular one came in and it was quite noisy and knocking, and you could hear it thumping up through the airbox. So what tends to happen is the cam lobes here, if you come and have a quick look, see that lobe there, it's sharp on the edges there, and they wear the tips. What they do, when they wear through the hardening on the tips, they divot the lifters and they wear through the lifters, and then that's what causes all the type of noise. But this one, all the camshafts got rust on it and corrosion. Obviously, it's also got it on the injector lobes as well. So what we're having to do with this one is we're going to replace the whole camshaft. While we're there, we're going to replace the wiring loom, because the wiring loom for the injectors in the head, because it's inside the engine, they get quite hot. And when the wires get hot, they go brittle. So when you move them out of the way, it can break a wire. Then you end up with an injector fault when you put it back together. So it's much cheaper to put a loom in at the same time as when you're doing the repair work. So then once you put the loom in for the injectors, it's all brand new then. So you've got a good start with it. Then on top of the injectors, you've got these little nipples as well, and these have got quite a bit of wear on them. So we pull these out. It's just a little nipple goes in there, and we replace those at the same time. And then this is a cog engine, so it's not got a timing chain or a cam belt. It works on cogs, so it's really important when you're timing these up to use the proper kit. We have the proper kit basically, and when you put it in, you need to get the timing perfect, because if not, the main reason for like replacing this and making sure the timing's absolutely perfect is you have to take the whole front off the van to get the inlet manifold off, and to get the rock cover off, you've got to take the inlet off, and to take the inlet off, it's the whole front off the van. So you've kind of just got to do it once and do it right. So this one's having new cam, top on the injectors, new wiring. It's having a new rocker cover as well, because it had a really bad oil leak from the back corner. So you can't buy a gasket, you have to buy the rock cover. It comes with a gasket in Volkswagen, whatever the reason they do that. And it'll have a new gasket for the vacuum pump as well on the side. So it's quite an in-depth repair, but it's really important that you do it correctly, especially, well, you should do every job correctly. But it's very, 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 very important on these. So Jason's doing this one, so I'm sure he's not enjoying it. Nice little caddy in today for stage 1. This is a 105 brake 2 litre TDI car, 5-speed. So we've got to be careful with the torque and the power, because on the 5-speed you can't put too much torque through them, because the gearbox and the flywheel and clutch doesn't like it. So we've done 263 pounds-feet. They're just shy of 170 horsepower. So we're not. You could theoretically push this engine to nearly 200. But with a 6-speed box in it, with a 5-speed box and the clutch size and everything, it's not a good idea. And obviously the customer he's not after massive power, he's after better fuel economy and ultimately better torque, but without pushing it too far. So I think the 150 versions of these have the 6-speed box, so you can then push those a bit further. It's just not a good idea on a 5-speed box to do that. So, but this has made good power. They're 105 horsepower stock. So it's quite a good thing. It's obviously a very nice caddy, so it's going to make the car drive completely different. The customer's going to really like it, so I'm sure he's going to be happy when he picks it up anyway. We better be. So this is second caddy of the day. Exactly the same engine code as the other one, 2 years older. Only done 45,000 miles. This is coming for stage 1 on it as well. This one, customer was happy to take a bit more of a risk. So, well, not a risk, but we've just done a little bit more power. So we've done 180 and 280 pounds-feet. So he was wanting the power basically rather than fuel economy. So we've done that. That's made this car, I mean, this will fly up the road. So this will be, would have thought, probably 4 or 5 mpg better as well, hopefully. So we increase the fuel pressure, which in turn atomises the fuel better, which will then mix with the air. When the ECU measures the cycle of the engine and what it's injected, it will then reduce the amount of fuel because it knows that it's mixed better, and then that's where we get the MPG from. So that's that one done. Then we've just got the Sirocco to do next, which is the old Mark II Sirocco outside. We're going to put that, we've rebuilt the carb on that, so we'll talk about that in a minute, but that's this one done now too. little Mark II Sirocco, we have removed the carburetor. It has a Weber downdraft on it instead of the Perberg anyway. We've removed the carb. We've refitted this with a new rubber fitting and a bracket, because obviously it raises it, well, not obviously, but it raises it up. We've just put it on the dyno and found that the clutch feels really weird. We've not really driven the car when it came in, but it's got a clutch repair plate on the bulkhead, which is flexing loads. So I don't know if it's been put on and not repaired properly behind it. So we're gonna have to remove that and have a look, because it just won't go into gear nice. So, but we're gonna check now. I've got the lambda meter up the exhaust. So hopefully we're just gonna have a quick check, see if that's working. And if it is, then we can basically look and see, has it saved it? No, it's not, bollocks. Do a light run if we get a run out of it. If we just do that now. Right, so you see the lambda meter is now working. I just rebooted the computer. So if we could just, I'm going to turn the fan on. I'll leave it off actually. Choked to death. So I might have to just. You can see the AFR meter. So it goes to 21 when I let off, because there's not enough airflow at the back. So I might need to just block the exhaust, make it go through. There's probably a bit lean there. If we run it, what I'll do now, I'll run the car and I'll hold it at sort of 3,000 RPM, and then we'll just see what the fueling's like. Cruising speed. So the fueling's okay, it's pretty much bang on, so we've just got to sort the clutch problem out, so it doesn't want to go in gear. And it's got a, what I'd probably say is a noisy tappet, so we're going to have a look at that as well, because that's not going to be any good. It really wants the rocker cover off. This is probably a hydraulic tappet engine, should be. So we'll pull the rocker cover off and see if it needs a set of tappets in it. But apart from that, the fueling's okay now. That's all fixed.